It's just sad that after 7 years, it was basically like, here are your records, get out. I'm just getting adjusted to the fact that I have not seen me with a gap in like 4 or 5 years, and I just gave up. I'm like sweating like so much right now. Like as soon as I pushed record, my armpits just started crashing out. But yeah, like me with a gap, like I feel like it's I just don't know how I feel about it. Like I've had a lot of people telling me lately that I look like I'm in high school, and I feel like being young and being youthful is great, but I feel like when people automatically assume that I'm younger than I am and don't have a college degree, that's when they start to play with me, and I don't like to be, don't play on my top. So I'm still getting adjusted to my gap, and I just honestly just gave up on my retainer because I went to a college, like an orthodontist or orthodontic school, and I told them that the glue was loose on my permanent retainer, and I think they did a pretty rushed job of the rebonding. And so a couple days after they rebonded it, number one, they kicked me out of the program. Let's talk about it. Number one, they kicked me out of the program. And number two, they did such a sloppy job of rebonding the permanent retainer that a couple days after the appointment, it popped off randomly. And let me talk about the getting kicked out of the appointment situation. So once you get your braces off, they're supposed to be observing you for 1 year post braces removal. So I was going in to get my retainer adjusted because your teeth are shifting with your retainer, and I feel like it's just a lot of fluctuation going on orally. And so I didn't like the feeling of putting my retainer on at night and it not fitting snug. So I requested an appointment, went in, and I was like, my retainer doesn't feel snug enough, especially on the bottom row. And the bottom row of my teeth, it was pretty perfect, honestly. Like, I'm really frustrated that for 2 years, they were not focusing on the top row. They were only focusing on the bottom row, and the bottom row was already perfect. They literally asked me during my consultation if I had braces before because the bottom was so straight. So I get to the appointment, they tighten it, and they actually added a layer of a substance to make it tighter. And that's when I said, like, out loud, so that should have been done. Like, if you're adding a whole molding substance on top of the actual retainer to make it fit tighter, because there's a way that you can take like a dental tool, I'm just gonna call it a wrench, like you take this dental wrench and you tighten it based on the hooks in the molar area. But the fact that he was adding a whole nother substance on top of my retainer, I was like, this should have been done the first time I got my retainer. And so then when the doctor hands me my retainer back and tells me to put them in my mouth, I'm looking at the retainer and it's crooked. And I asked him, could you please adjust the retainer because it's not leveled, like it's not a 180-degree angle. And he's like, it's fine, it doesn't have to be straight. And I'm like, well, I walked in with it straight, so I would like for me to also walk out with it straight. I don't really care if you're saying the retainer being straight doesn't affect the straightness of my teeth. If I walked in with my retainer straight, I'd like to walk out with it straight. And he kept saying, it's fine, it doesn't matter. So then I'm not sure if this was his colleague or if it was his superior, but this other lady comes over to me and she's like, basically reinforcing that my retainer being crooked was okay. And that's when she says, well, if she has so many complaints, I think we should release her from the program. I don't think she said release. I think she said dismiss her. It was basically like the term that was used was like, basically, if you have so many complaints, we should just kick you out. And it was so infuriating because I was supposed to have braces for 2.5 years. And I had braces for 7. And I will say that I feel like they took their sweet time. I got braces when I was 15. And then as, you know, me graduating from high school was approaching, we kept telling them, you know, I'm going to college soon, I'm going to college. And I feel like it was like, oh, yeah, whatever. But my teeth were already paid for because at that point I had been in treatment so long that every appointment, my parents aren't even going to the window to pay their fee. They've already been paid off. So at this point, we just need to get the treatment. And so after the lady said we should just dismiss her from the program if she has so many complaints, I said, I need to come back and I need to see the black lady. Because one time, this place was always like playing with me. And even I waited like 2 or 2.5 years to get my top braces on, which was my priority of getting braces in the first place. And after all of this, like leading me on, stringing me along, tell me, oh, next appointment, you're going to get them next appointment. Next appointment comes around, I get there and it's like, oh, nobody's here to put your top braces on. And I'm about to have an emotional breakdown because why are you leading me on like this? And this really nice lady, she comes over and she's like, I can do it for you. And I was so thankful because it only takes a phone call. It only takes one phone call. And I know the front desk receptionists don't like to do their job or something because they just be acting like they're so busy. But to get back to it, I said, I need to see the black lady because there was another black lady that saw me when one of the doctors was out because I guess they are doctors, but they don't have, I'm not sure like what. Okay, I think they have their dental I'm not even going to speculate, but basically they have to have somebody to oversee the treatment that they're doing and give them the okay. And so my doctor wasn't in that day, so they gave me this black lady, and she just was so knowledgeable and very comforting. And I was like, yeah, I need to see that black lady. And I gave her like physical description of what she looked like. And then all the students in there started laughing because they knew exactly who I was talking about. And I was like, yeah, make my next appointment, make my last appointment and make it with her. And so I came in for the next appointment and, rewind. Before I left, I was like, it's so crazy that I'm the angry black woman. Like, this is a HBCU. And we have all these people of other ethnicities telling me that I'm being difficult right now because I want my retainer to be returned to me in the way that it was brought to them. And they were so quiet, and it was like, you could hear a pin drop in there. And then some of the dental patients, dental students came up to me and they were like, "You're not the angry black woman, you know that." And it's just like, I understand you can't really speak up for me. Well, you could. You could speak up for me, but I understood the position that they were in, considering that if they would have spoke up for me, that's also going against the same person that's going to give you your final grade and decide whether or not you could graduate. But I just felt like, I was like, it's crazy that I'm the angry black woman. Like, this is so crazy. Like, is this not an HBCU? Like, we're doing discriminatory practices at an HBCU? Like, what's going on here? And they came up to me and they were like, "Oh, you know, you're not the angry black woman." And then they recommended that they give me a plastic clear retainer, because if the issue is you want it to be straight, you want it to be adjusted, why don't we give you a clear one? And I'm like, I'm not paying $200 to $300 more for a clear retainer when I'm telling you, just make the one I have straight. That one has already been paid for. Like, it's just like, I don't like when people are attempting to make me seem difficult when I'm asking for something that is so simple. And I feel like it's basic customer service. And I think it was just layered on top of so many frustrations with being in treatment for 7 years. And when I would come in and I would sit in the chair, the doctor would ask, who is this? Like, I've been in here since I was 15. And you're asking the doctor that's taking care of my treatment, who is this again? Who is she? Like, no interpersonal dynamic. Like, it's just like, I understand some people that come or go to work and it's just a paycheck. But when you are in charge of assisting people with a part of their physical appearance that can be such an insecurity, I feel like there should have been a lot more, like, investment in attempting to at least know my name. Like, but the black lady ended up coming on my next appointment, and we just had some banter about how, you know, what I was doing, like how often I was wearing my retainer. And I was like, I remember you told me that I have to wear it for 8 hours a day. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, you have such good memory and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, where should I look out for you? Like, I guess she was just saying, like, I was so, I don't know what her perception of me was, but she was basically like, what channel, what TV station should I look out for you on? And, you know, it was great to have self-advocated for myself in a way that, you know, I got what I wanted in the end, was her basically just straightening my retainer. But it's just sad that after 7 years, it was basically like, here are your records, get out, because I voiced a concern. And, you know, I had been through like 5 or 6 different doctors within that period. And one of them was like, I know the process is long and it's tedious, but, you know, the overseeing doctor, he's just a perfectionist, and you're gonna be so happy with your smile after, you know, you just gotta wait it out. And I am not satisfied. Like, when I look at my teeth, I'm not satisfied. They definitely look better and have made an improvement, but that has just been because I really took care of my teeth during my time with braces. And my first dental hygienist appointment, after getting my braces taken off, I told the dental hygienist that I had braces for 7 years, and he was like, wow, like, your teeth are in really good condition. And so I just feel like the whole experience was very underwhelming. I'm not impressed, and yeah, so that's definitely part one. I just talked about my teeth for 15 minutes when that was just supposed to be a brief overview of how I feel about having my gap back. But long story short, once the permanent retainer popped off again after I told them that it was loose, they rebonded it, it popped off. That's when I had already been kicked out of the program. So I basically have to wear my top retainer all day if I want my gap to stay closed. And the minute that I take it off, my gap starts opening back up. So I was like, at this point, because if I put my retainer in right now, it hurts. Like, it hurts so much. Because what is that, like a fourth of an inch? Yeah, that's like a fourth of an inch closing and opening every time. It was just too much. So basically, I gave up on wearing my retainer because I can't do it at night. Like, even when my teeth were used to being contained in my retainer, I would just feel like I couldn't get a full night's rest of REM sleep because it was just uncomfortable. Like, I always felt nauseous, and it was just more cons than pros. And I was just like, I'd rather have a good night's rest than have straight teeth that are just going to be a revolving open and close situation. So I don't wear my retainer anymore, and I definitely I'm just not satisfied, and it's just annoying because after 7 years I should be 100% in love. I should want to marry my teeth. Like, it should not be this way. Yeah. But what I really wanted to talk about was / is my analysis paralysis situation when it comes to uploading and staying consistent on my YouTube channel. And for this channel, I want to do things a lot differently. On my previous channel, I felt like I got a strategy that really worked. I really, 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 really wanted to get monetized because I felt like I was putting so much effort and time into my videos, and I enjoyed it so much. I was uploading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and in a matter of months, I was monetized. So I had my 1,000 subscribers and my 4,000 watch hours within, it was less than a year. I think it might have been 9 months or less. And so I know the strategy that works to get to the monetization requirements. However, I do think that I quickly experienced burnout because I saw my analytics just exponentially growing, and I didn't want to lose that momentum. So even in times where I felt like I wanted to take a break, like I know I did more than a couple of videos on like wanting to quit, just feeling undervalued in the space. And I will say, I think starting off as mainly a natural hair creator definitely pigeonholes you in terms of niche. And it just felt very limiting because the platform has the ability to assist you with engagement, but if I'm not making a video that is in relation to natural hair, the fact that it's getting like less than 100 views and I had over 10,000 subscribers was just kind of like, you can't even help me push it a little bit. Like, I would see random people on my recommended page all the time. And I just think that it's the way that the back end analytics of the specific platform, I think it just, because it's computers, it doesn't really understand that a topic on a different video could be just as helpful as a video topic that you're doing frequently. And it's just sad. So I think I want to be very intentional about, and if this is so hard for me, being the planner that I am, not having an upload schedule. But I really think that is the key for me to not experience burnout as quickly as I did on my previous channel. And I don't know, maybe it will add like in a surprise or like a spontaneous factor to my uploads. But that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it got me there. And so I think not uploading on a consistent schedule will definitely, I think it will take the burden off of my shoulders of feeling like I need to batch content 3 videos in a row and now I have to edit them. And no, like staring at your computer for that long is not healthy. I want to upload, but every time I think about something I want to record, I'm like even this setup, like this, I've been procrastinating on filming because right now the area where I film and I prefer the lighting is occupied, and I don't have specific items that would help me be successful in conducting my filming in that area. So at that point, it's just like, well, I guess I'm just not going to film anything until I have the materials required. But even if it's just like this, I feel like these types of low-key, just talking, getting my thoughts out situations or setups would be helpful, because I have so many thoughts that I don't get out, and I have places that they don't get expressed. That didn't come out right. I have so many thoughts that don't get expressed because I feel like I don't have the spaces to express them. And I also don't, I see your body language when I'm talking and it's giving not interested. So I don't want to force somebody to listen to me just because I want to have a outlet to talk. I'd rather talk to myself and rewatch me discussing the topic than talk to somebody that's very uninterested just to have a body. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, not satisfied with my teeth. 7 years. And I'm about to start by any means necessary. By any means necessary. No excuses. Yeah.